As for the gardening, she was carrying on what Grandmother Smoot had started. Grandmother Smoot must have had green hand and arm too, because after Grandfather bought the place and they began developing it, and trying to tame it into civilized form from the original roughness, Grandmother seems to have had considerable skill in growing plants. So much so that she's the one responsible for naming the place Flower Hill. It was funny, it was a family joke. Grandfather had not known pecans up in Kentucky, and he did like those pecans when he came to Texas. But oddly enough, none grew here in the native original on the place. So he began trying to make pecans grow here. I'm not sure, I'm guessing that he planted other people's nuts, and he may have dug up young trees and brought them. I'm guessing that maybe he didn't get the taproot of the little trees he dug up. Maybe didn't go all the way down. Anyway, he had a dreadful time, and they just were not living. And he was so enamored of pecans that he was intent on naming the place Pecan Place. In those days, homes were named. In those days, there were no numbers. This was not even a street out here. It was just a road, because Pecan Street stopped back there on the other side of Shoal Creek, you see. And so, although this was still called Pecan Street, it was just a dirt road, and there were no numbers out this way. Well, anyway, he could not make the pecans grow. And Grandmother was doing remarkably well with flowers of all sorts, and so she laughed, teasing him, and she said, "Why don't you just give up on the pecans and go on and call it Flower Hill, because it's just blooming all over the hill?" And he sort of grudgingly kept on for a while, but strangely, he never had any luck with pecans. I wish he could see the pecans here now. I mean, there are jillions of little ones volunteering, And we have the worst time with those little bitty ones that just volunteer all over the place. It was my father who was lucky to put out the pecans that are now growing.